Hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about some of the things that are going on with Jimin and the hashtag that was trending on Twitter recently. The hashtag was called Be Fair to Jimin. Jimin was treated unfairly and we do have to talk about that. I definitely want to hear your opinions on it. We also have a relationship between two people. I want to talk about that. I'll keep it a bit of a surprise to the end. It'll be a nice fun little moment to talk about. A fun little tea after the dark tea. A little milk tea if you will. And we'll end it on a positive note there. I definitely have a lot to say about this one, so let's just jump into the tea. If you are new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so to be notified anytime a new video drops. And if you're a hater, like to be the first to leave your hate comment, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also so you can be the first to do so. Now, let's go. Now, the first thing I want to mention today is obviously everything that's been going on with Jimin. Jimin had a hashtag trend on Twitter called hashtag Be Fair to Jimin. I do have to give a little bit of context because K-pop is a little bit different from American pop music and the stuff that the fans do is very different from what happens in American pop music. There's a lot of things that K-pop fandoms do that American fandoms don't do or don't think about doing, and it can come as a bit of a surprise when you find out why or what is happening. And it's sometimes hard to understand. So, context. In case you're new to the BTS ARMY world, when someone treats a member of BTS kind of poorly or anything like that, things that are not as great as you would treat a normal human being, ARMYs will speak up and they will trend this topic. This is of course for two reasons. First, being the obvious one. They want to speak up, they want better treatment for the boys, they want their voices, their angry voices, and their opinions to be heard, and for people to acknowledge what they did was wrong, which is 100% noble. I usually agree with this because 99% of the time, when BTS gets treated poorly, it's a direct result of how Asians get treated in the entertainment industry. So don't just get mad when BTS gets treated poorly. You should be mad for the entire race as well. Whether or not BTS wants it or not, right now they do represent Korean and Asian people in media. And I know they don't take that lightly. Now the second reason as to why ARMYs kind of trend bad treatment is a direct result and support of the BTS members. Their mental health, to be specific. So if like a bad rumor kind of spreads and ends up trending on Twitter, a lot of ARMYs will then trend something else completely unrelated but good and positive, and it'll essentially get the bad rumor or the hate kind of removed from the trending tab, and in which case BTS will actually never see it, it'll never affect them, and they will never know that this bad rumor ever existed about them. This is something that I learned more recently, and I was very surprised that it actually existed and a lot of the fans were doing this when something bad happened. I love it, honestly. You guys are looking out for each other. I think it's very noble and it helps the K-pop idol. They end up feeling much better about everything that they're going through because literally they have an army behind them. Just like here, when someone in the comments decides to attack another dumpling, I will delete and I will block that person if I see it. I got your back. But apparently it was reported that a news source was very unfair to Jimin, which is why the Be Fair to Jimin trended. A recent while back, Jimin got a lot of kind of threats to his life. I don't 100% know the context of what happened and why he was getting those, but it doesn't matter, right? No one should be getting those, especially since he hasn't been in a scandal that is worthy of something as serious as that. No BTS scandal from any of the boys have ever been so serious that they needed threats to their life. Not that anyone needs threats to their life, but none of their scandals were ever that serious that it would trigger that kind of response. Nothing calls for this in my opinion. Even if a celebrity breaks a law, let the legal system handle that. That's not your place to send death threats. So apparently it was reported that in this interview, Jimin was only asked about said threats. For obvious reasons, Jimin felt very uncomfortable by this because why would you want to sit there and just talk about this? I mean, who does? You don't want to bring attention to it, right? You also don't really want to let the haters know that something like this bothers you because if they do realize that, they'll do it more. So it's oftentimes best to not even address it because it's very obvious, first of all, it bothers everybody. So I don't know what the interviewer was expecting. How do you receive comments and threats like we're gonna kill you and your response is just like, oh, okay. A lot of people on Twitter were saying things like this. So Big Hit allowed interviewers to ask Jimin about death threats. That for obvious reasons made him uncomfortable, but not about his solo work, his achievements. What the Jimin's hard work and achievement should be appreciated and should never be ignored. Now this was taken from the news article that wrote about this, and I 100% agree. Jimin has so many kind of like solo achievements, and news reporters would have failed to acknowledge those achievements. That would suck. Like aside from the threats, there's so many interesting things that the news reporter could ask, like how did you get into dancing, which I'm sure ARMYs already know, but they would be definitely interested to hear it in an interview again. Or talk about the awards that he got and talk about some of the donations that have been made in his name. There's so many lists of things that would have been interesting interesting for armies to hear. He also had like best fashion trends and things like that. So why aren't those things kind of highlighted a little bit more? Especially if he was uncomfortable answering the questions about threats. It's one thing if he didn't mind answering it, but if he was like visibly uncomfortable with the question, then move on and ask something else, because he has a lot of stuff under his belt that could be talked about. And if someone is visibly uncomfortable, you should stop the news show, because a news show without guests is kind of sucks. Guests are not going to want to go to your show specifically if your show makes them uncomfortable. There's so many news shows on the air, they don't have to go to yours. Jimin did kind of put out a statement, I guess, when the news reporter asked them this question. I definitely thought it was interesting. I definitely wanted to kind of sit there and read it. Jimin said this: "Honestly, the photo I uploaded to Twitter on the day we left for Los Angeles shows how tired I felt after hearing about the threat." Poor Jimin looks so sad in the photo. I wonder why he posted the photo anyway. Like the day he was receiving death threats, why would he post the photo? I personally would have just hidden away and stayed quiet. It's so weird that stuff like this happens so often in K-pop that it's almost like normal now. It may become something that one day someone doesn't even pay attention to, because if it is a real threat, it needs to be taken seriously. However, eventually, if they receive so many of these, labels are probably just going to ignore it. Oh, like the 50th threat this hour. Jimin is strong for this, and I do believe he is going to be okay. I believe Big Hit has his back. They will take care of him. I suppose he probably does realize that things like this happen all the time within K-pop idols, whether they do anything or not. People are just insane sometimes. And a lot of these people who kind of make up these hates and threats aren't doing it sometimes because they hate BTS. They're doing it oftentimes just because they're bored. They want to see how angry people get. They're just trolls and they want attention. Because let's be real, if they're going to threaten to kill someone, wouldn't they kill like an actual like huge political figure? Why would they kill singers? But if that's how you want to spend your life, then I actually feel really bad for you. If you want attention, make something that's worthy of giving people attention. Put your energy into like the Black Lives Matter movement right now, which is huge. Don't just do it for attention, obviously. But if you do contribute to that, you will be known for something good. Jimin's really only putting out positivity into the world right now. I know he gets it back from the armies, us, the label, and of course his bandmates. It's really unfortunate that he has to deal with this type of stuff. But no haters, no success, right? Haters be hating all the time, but you can't hate love. At least I don't. I wish I had more love in my life. Jungkook is the one who's recently putting out a lot of love into the world for their members and all that stuff, and the relationship I want to talk about today is going to be with the Jungkook and Taehyung. Yes, this is going to be about my Taecookie monster. I love them so much. I'm going to be talking about times where Taehyung and Jungkook showed love to each other and made me go ooey. Some of the recent moments. Jungkook talked about the time when V's words brought him strength and courage and comfort, a cure to his sadness, I guess. Definitely listen to V if you are sad. It definitely does help sometimes. His lyrics are amazing. It really feels like he knows what you're going through, and if you can relate to what he's going through, then that's amazing. We all know that Cookie gets sad sometimes, just due to everything that's going on in the world. And also, their job is hard. It's not easy to try to one-up yourself every single time. Then make sure you kill and slay every single performance, every single song that comes out, etc. It's hard to do that and to have that kind of pressure on yourself. So I'm so glad that these wonderful guys have each other and have the love for each other. There's also cute times like this where Taekook is either at an award show or a live performance or something like that, and they began to kind of look out for each other. They do things like dust each other off, dust off their pants, by the way. Perverted stuff, you get your mind out the gutter. They always make sure they look great in front of each other, in front of the camera. This is something I do for all my friends. I like to make sure they look good in front of other people or when they're taking a photo. If they have a hair out of place, I usually try to fix it for them before they take their photo. You'll be amazed at how many guys just don't care. Like they'll roll up somewhere literally right out of bed. I mean, it's great to see your real self, but sometimes people don't need to see your real self like right out of bed. But if I'm there and I can help it, I'm gonna grab a brush and I'm gonna fix them up real quick for the photo, because I do look out for that. And it's nice to know that these lovely Taekook people also look out for each other too. Such goals. Maybe that's why people don't like me, because I act like a mom sometimes. Their relationship, not just Taekook, but all the members of BTS, is what I aspire to have one day, whether that's in a friend or whether that's in an actual relationship. I do have decent people around me within the last year or so I'm very grateful for those people and the people who have treated me well. There are also times when they drink alcohol or whatever's in the cup. They could not be drinking alcohol. We don't know. They often drink with their hands like this. That's something usually married couples do, or people who are dating. So without a doubt, I find this to be very cute and funny to watch. I definitely wanted to go over on the Tweetster to see what people were saying about this and what they were talking about. Any new thoughts on Taekook recently? One person wrote this: spam Taekook every day for some soul cleansing. I mean, yeah. Their love is so pure, you can just clean your soul. They always magic together. Whatever their relationship is, okay, I don't judge. We don't really know what they are because they haven't come out and said anything officially yet. But I'm still gonna ship Taehyung in my head, okay? This is something I'm allowed to do as a fan, but nothing more than that. It would be kind of hypocritical for me to sit here and kind of say for sure they're dating or anything like that, when clearly I have said multiple times that we don't know if they're dating anyone else. I always deny it because they haven't come out and said anything official yet, and the same applies to this too. We can definitely have ships that are our favorite and talk about them and be fun and all that stuff, but we must realize that they haven't said anything officially yet, so we shall let it be just a ship. Right now, I just love the idea and I love entertaining the idea for myself. Anyway, let me know what you think about this and let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it down in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for leaving your comments. And as always, I do have a Patreon. If you want to go over to my Patreon and kind of contribute back to this channel, anything you can contribute over there really does help kind of make my videos better, really does help me spend more time on here, do research, all that stuff. So I really do appreciate anything you can contribute over there. You can also get exclusive content over there, such as music video reactions, performance reactions, ship reactions, all that stuff on my Patreon. You can also request things, link in the top of the description down below. There's also 2 videos that will appear up on the screen at the end of this video. So click on one of those videos and I will see you over there. Bye.